What's good, everybody? Hey, man, it's been a very, very long time, and that has honestly not been by design. Majority of that is mainly because of school and everything, and then obviously just how everything worked out in 2020 with Corona and whatnot, and so far in 2021 as well. But we're definitely back with how I want to do things differently with this new season and everything like that, and definitely major thing with guests as well. And today I have a very special episode with one of my good friends, Calvin, talking about anime, specifically the Demon Slayer movie, man. So why don't you tell people, hey, man.
Okay. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Calvin. I'm good friends with James. I want to talk about the Demon Slayer movie. This will be a spoiler talk about, by the way. So if you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie, cause I'm not gonna hold back. Okay.
LOL. So one of the main things that, like I said, I want to do differently with like this season. I definitely want to have guests on here. And that's probably gonna be like majority of my podcast episodes now, or not in terms of just the different things that I want to do. Another thing I want to get into is just a different type of diversity within the episodes that I have. And so, like I said earlier, bringing up anime. And I know for me, like anime was something that I basically just got into. Well, not just got into, but got just a little bit more serious about in college or whatnot. So, like, what would you say would be the first time that you really kind of like opened up to anime and like got into that whole world?
Oh, well, the first time I got into anime was there. Okay, so there was this comic book called Shonen Jump. Well, manga book called Shonen Jump. They used to sell it at Kroger, and I bought one day, and it had a manga in there called Rosario Vampire. So I showed my friend some manga. He said, "Hey, there's a show for this." I watched it, and it was about a bunch of monster girls with big tits, and it's like that wasn't appropriate for kids. I got caught watching it, and my dad was proud, but that's kind of how I got into anime.
LOL. I guess for my story, necessarily, it was more of me like watching mainstream anime, like on TV, mainly Cartoon Network or like maybe the CW back in when they would play like a whole bunch of cartoons on like Saturday mornings and different things like that. The first one that I probably watched, it either be between Dragon Ball Z or One Piece. I know those are some of my earliest memories of watching anime on TV. So that would be it for me. So like at this point now, like, would you say? Well, how would you like describe yourself as like an anime fan or person or whatnot? Like, where would you say you are in that space?
I am a very big anime fan. I'm very particular about my taste, so I'm not trying to sound like a snob or anything, you know.
I mean, if you have a particular taste, you have a particular taste.
You know, I do like anime where it's not basic shonen. I do like to see girls kill each other in my anime. That sounds strange, but you know, it's you understand, like if you've seen that, like the anime like that, like there's one Magical Girl Raising Project, like that one. Watching the characters fight gave me some kind of thrill, you know. So it's something like that. I'm not misogynist, by the way. I love women.
um. So in that, uh, would you say that you're more of an avid fan because you just generally got into it like on your own, or would you say like it kind of helped grow your like appreciation and esteem for it with like getting into it with other friends and things of that nature?
Well, I basically got into it by myself because back then anime was so weird or whatever. I remember the first time my mom caught me watching anime, she was like, she turned it off. She was like, "This is Japanese porn." It's like, no, it's Naruto. I mean, she was kind of right over there, but like, and with making friends with it, it's like more internet friends, whereas now it's a lot more people in person. Um, Questionable taste in what they like though, but it's changed a lot.
What would you say my taste would be then?
Um, Very similar to Trey's. You know, a bunch of shonen. You would watch Fairy Tale and not see any problem with it at all.
I'm trying to remember. I think I've seen a few episodes, but I don't think I've ever like watched a full season of Fairy Tale. So
Yeah, during quarantine, Trey basically forced me to watch it from beginning to end. I had seen the first 80 episodes on my own years ago and decided it was not for me. And he basically made me watch it to the end, and I was like, it got worse.
I know um some other animes that I did watch growing up would be damn, I can't even think. Oh man. If I had a chance to look them up, they'd be right there in front of me. But I know I watched. Oh my gosh, I can't think of anything. I watched some other ones growing up or whatever. But like I said, they're more mainstream or just the ones that appeared on TV. So I wasn't really opened up into like the whole anime space in terms of watching it online, catching it on different type of websites and different things like that, or even catching it in like the movies or something. Until as of late, honestly, I know for me, and I know one thing I was major in, but I didn't really think of it as like anime back when I was growing up was Pokemon. But like just being able to see that on TV itself was like big for me whenever they would have the movie premieres and different things like that. So I now knowing how like that's a part of the anime world itself, it's like crazy because like that was one of the main things that like pushed me through as I was getting older and different things like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people saw it as a cartoon
Yeah,
because it came on Cartoon Network.
It came on another show. I mean, another network too.
Was it for kids or what was it?
I think it was for it was for kids. Like the not the OGs, the Kanto region,
Johto.
and Johto region. I think that third region too. They came on like for kids.
Yeah.
And then like Cartoon Network caught it after I don't think it was it the Sinnoh when they caught it? Okay. So that right then, that's when Cartoon Network got it, and that's when they like I guess blew up, I guess, or whatnot. But yeah, so it was on another network too.
Maybe it was like the end of. I remember them having some Hoenn episodes. Maybe it was like the end of Hoenn.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. But. And there was also Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, I wasn't gonna mention that, but yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was.
I used to watch the hell out of that, and
I didn't think about that as anime either. Like it was just cartoons to me because it would come on the CW. Like I would heavily watch Yu-Gi-Oh, so I was like, just even when I was younger, I didn't even know like anime was a label. I just saw it all as cartoons, honestly. And whenever I would talk to people about it, it's like these are the cartoons that I watch. Like
Bakugan, does it even count as anime?
I was gonna bring that up, but like, see, that's the thing. I don't know. Like Bakugan, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Those are some of my main ones that I did watch, and like now thinking about it, I think all of those probably would be labeled as like anime in some form or fashion because they do have Japanese origin. So.
Wait, I could have sworn Bakugan was Canadian. I'm not sure.
Honestly, I could look it up real quick.
Because have you seen Powerpuff Girls Z?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that one was Canadian too, which surprised me. Or was it? Maybe it was created in Canada and animated in Japan. I'm not sure.
Bakugan origin. It says it was first created when by an American inventor or whatnot. Ooh. I really don't have time to go through the whole different thing or whatever. But oh well, it was first launched in Canada. Okay, it's first launched in Canada, and I don't think I necessarily see anything where it ended up in Japan. LOL. So it might just be Canadian based. I don't know, but it looked like just anime like the rest of it and everything like that. So
It was really good.
I I actually remember like growing up or whatnot, Beyblade and Bakugan were actually pretty big, at least in like elementary and a little bit in middle school.
Band.
And we would after school we would come home or whatever, and everybody would get out their Beyblade stadiums or whatever, and like we'd be we'd be battling after school, and sometimes at school we would bring our Beyblades and like trade pieces with each other and stuff like that.
Y'all
But I
didn't get in
know,
trouble?
well, when we first did it, we didn't. But after the school year caught on, the teacher saw, yeah, they was like, nah, cut that. But I know Bakugan, I was like very protective of. Like I never brought that around anybody or nothing. Like
They can take that and go.
that was sacred for me. Like Bakugan and my Pokemon cards, like nobody knew about that except unless you were like a really really close friend. Like if you weren't, then like you just knew about Beyblade. But those are sacred for me, honestly. uh, so trying to get a nice bridge.
So anyway, about the Demon Slayer movie.
Well, I guess we can, yeah. So, well, tell us how you like got into Demon Slayer itself before we like get to the movie.
Okay, well, with Demon Slayer, I have this friend, cool guy.
I mean, he's both of our friends, but you hang out way more with them.
And we, like, one day he said, watch this anime with me, Demon Slayer. And I was like, this looks like garbage. And before I knew it, I was like, whoa, this is a masterpiece. I don't say a masterpiece per se, but like, it's a solid 8 out of 10. I loved it. Everything about it. The animation is animated by Ufotable. I love everything Ufotable does. And it was very soft compared to what I was used to when I watched the shonen. Like, oh, My Hero Academia. It's more of like I don't know how to describe it. I'm sorry. I'm a little drunk. I'm drinking wine right now. You guys can't see that, but yeah, it like when you think of shonen like Dragon Ball Z is very much
very gruesome, very fast paced, very well. I wouldn't say it's in your face, but like when you know some of the fighting scenes, it's like
it's very very flashy. Whereas Demon Slayer, yeah, it's flashy, but at the same time, everything felt soft.
It was a little bit more raw, like a little bit more to your like core, trying to like connect you. It's trying to give you more of a like holistic picture of life, basically.
Yeah, and I very much enjoyed it. It was a nice change of pace from what I was used to watching. And then after I finished it, I binge read the manga. So in the manga, it was very good, questionable ending, but very good.
I know. For me, it was funny because Calvin he brought it up I think one time that I was like hanging out with like one of the guys that he was talking about, and then like our other friend that he mentioned earlier. I think he like brought up on a phone call or something, and he said he like asked all of us do we want to go see it or whatnot, and I was like, yeah, sure. And at the time I had no idea what Demon Slayer was. I think I had just saw the trailer pop up on Netflix, but I didn't know what it was. And it was crazy because, like, I think it was, like, the day or 2 days afterwards, one of my other friends, she was, like, she was telling me that she was watching it. And I was like, dang, if somebody else is watching it, like, I need to try to pick it up myself. And so I think at the time, I was still finishing some other animes, The Seven Deadly Sins, which I love, by the way. And then, Hunter x Hunter, which I also love, and those were also put on to me by Calvin, and then one of my best friends. So I was actually late to really watch those. But once I finished, I think it was the Seven Deadly Sins, then I started Demon Slayer or whatnot, and it's like after I got through the first few episodes, I think I had hit up my other friend and I was like, okay, like seems really good or whatnot. But after I got to like episode 20, I called Cal and I was like, this is like amazing. Like, when are they gonna have season 2? I hadn't even finished it yet or whatever, but that's kind of like how I got into it. And since we just saw the movie, I kind of know how like a little bit more of it plays out. But I definitely know on my reading list, especially for when the semester ends, and when I have a lot more time to myself, I'm definitely gonna read the manga for this one and for Hunter x Hunter as well, because I definitely want to be able to know what actually happens with the complete story and everything like that.
Oh, the story of Hunter x Hunter isn't done, by the way. It's on hiatus. But he dropped something big and he said, "Let me go on hiatus." I don't know why he did that, but
See, that's the thing about like the anime world. You feel like you're getting the full picture of everything, and then like the artists, the creators behind it be like, oh, y'all just need this little tea, y'all can be fine, and then wait 2 or 3 years later just to give you something else. But I know originally you saw the movie and dub, and you said it was like, you said it wasn't trash, but it didn't give you everything that you needed from it. And so watching it in sub this time, what would you say just like summed it up for you and getting it in sub in this time?
You saw me cry. The sub, I felt more impactful watching it with the sub because like I already knew what was going to happen in the movie because I saw it. I read the manga. Then I saw it dubbed before watching it subbed. I don't know. They put crack in that sub or something because here I was holding back tears, hoping he didn't see me crying. I was like, the ending was like so impactful, and the voice acting, the emotion displayed with the voice acting was a lot stronger than the dub, in my opinion. But how did you feel about the sub?
So I'm not gonna lie, I am probably in the very, very small miniature minority when it comes to watching animes because I like to watch them in dub. We don't have to get into the specifics about it or whatever, but I'm just one of those people. So watching it in sub for me, I was a little skeptical at first, but honestly, like the movie was amazing. It was great. Even though I had to like read the English or whatever, but hearing the like Japanese voices and like the impact from like just the different scenes that were happening, like I could feel everything that I was given, and I honestly felt like watching that movie specifically in sub was the best thing that could have happened. I don't know if I watched something else in sub what it would do, but watching this movie in sub like gave me everything that it needed to give me. So I was like really happy that I actually took the time to like be like, okay, just chill out. You gonna watch this movie and enjoy it, and just take it from there. Honestly, what would you say reading the manga and then watching it in dub? How would you say like watching it in sub really correlated with everything?
Well, wait, what? What type of question is that?
Well, like okay, so well, I guess I could talk about like the manga. Knowing how like the story goes in the manga, how would you say like the animation and like seeing the movie part of it has like correlates itself?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be honest. The Demon Slayer manga with the fight scenes, they're very well done, but at the same time, they can get a little messy to keep track when there are multiple fighting styles on the screen or like on the page. Because like I said, all they can do is black and white, and the artist doesn't usually go too far with the shading on certain attacks. So seeing fights that I like, yeah, I thought they were cool in the manga, animated the way they were in the movie. Really, like you said, brought a tear to my eye. Very beautifully done, animation, fluid. It really brings to life. It really brings the pages to life. Like it's definitely one of those things where the animation is better than the manga. Like no, most of the time, in my opinion, the manga is way better than the anime. But like Demon Slayer, the show and the movie definitely add a lot more, and they don't take away.
Uh,
Oh, well, you want me to say something else?
I thought you had something else, but I know that's something that's really big. I know I don't know if manga could definitely necessarily be correlated to like a book or whatnot, but I know sometimes when things are made into shows or they're made into movies, a lot of people have issues with it because of how the production company, how they produce it to the effect of like taking things out or adding too much or whatnot.
How they adapt it.
But I guess from like his point of view and then like other people's point of view as well, just hearing about different reviews and reading different reviews as well, like the production company that works on this, how do you pronounce it? I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Ufotable.
Ufotable. I guess I pronounced that right. Just seeing how they adapted the whole like scheme of everything and how they've drawn it into this animated picture itself, it seems like they couldn't have done a better job than what they've done so far. And seeing how they've just carried along the story and added in just little hints of like extra effects to it too, it definitely speaks to like not just the detail work that they've put in, but like just the skill behind it too, with their thoughtfulness to think like, hey, like the lovers of the manga, like the lovers of like the original comics or whatever, they will genuinely like this or maybe even fall in love with it or whatnot. So I definitely have hats off to them and everything like that.
It was definitely a gift.
So even though you knew how everything was gonna go, what would you say would be like your favorite part?
My favorite part of the movie. Well, first, can I just say one more thing about the animation?
Yeah.
Like, the seamless blend of CGs where you almost barely notice it in the movie and it never catches your eye like as being something out of place. Like the backgrounds, all the backgrounds I noticed were CG, and like and they were so beautiful to look at. Like it didn't feel like
they definitely were.
Like ew, there's ugly 3D models in the background. It was like these definitely look like it fits with the animation really well. But my favorite part of the movie, spoiler, the final fight with Rengoku versus Upper Moon 3. I don't know if they said his name, so I'm not gonna say his name.
I think he said who his name was.
I'm just gonna avoid it because I don't remember. But seeing how every time I thought he was done attacking, he's like, I'm going to attack again because he said I'm not dead yet, and I just love that, and the way they animated the flames so beautifully. Because I know I've realized a few people didn't know this, that all the effects of the coming from the swords, like the lightning, the water, and the fire, it's not actually there. It's just so we can tell the difference between the fighting styles. But seeing the way they animated it and during that fight, like the final fight especially, made me feel like as if it was really emanating flames. Like he was actually doing that, and it really like, what's the word? It made my heart murmur. Like, and how the fight ended, sadly, another spoiler, Rengoku passed. And seeing, like, after reading it and knowing who all the Hashira were, and seeing how each of them reacted to Rengoku's death, made me cry harder. That was like that whole scene from the fight to the end of the movie was my favorite part of the movie.
I know one thing when you brought up fire and how his fire style is, because he was the fire Hishira.
It's Hashira.
My fault. See, this is why I don't even talk, because I mispronounce a whole bunch of stuff. But well, that's for like Hunter x Hunter. I don't be trying to say nobody's name because I know I mispronounced almost all of them. But Avatar popped into my head for some reason, and I don't even know if that'd be classified necessarily as an anime or whatnot.
I mean, I feel like you can call whatever the fuck you want to call it an anime. I feel like it's an anime. It was animated in Korea, if I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it was.
but it's an American made show. But I feel like it definitely feels like anime to me. I'm gonna call it an anime. It's on anime websites when you go to anime websites. So, well, argue with your mama about it.
I don't know, but when you brought up the fire part of it, Avatar popped into my head for some reason. So like, I definitely can attest to like how the way that's animated and how they have the well, if you don't know anything about Avatar, the what is it, 4 elements? Yeah, with there's fire, earth, water, and air, and like how their fighting styles are and everything, and just knowing how Demon Slayer is specifically with the different breathing techniques that they have, that they master with their swordsmanship as well, and like seeing those different like aspects of like everything is like very detailed, and like in a way it makes you not even think about the fact that they're like wielding swords. Almost it makes you just think about like the fact that they have this like super cool breathing technique or whatever, and it's like it just adds another element to it or whatnot. And I know it does for me at least. My favorite part from the movie, I'm not gonna. It probably was, well, that whole like last ending fight scene. That was like a great part. It might be like 1A or whatnot, but I don't know. For some reason, whenever they were in, well, this whole podcast spoiler. If you haven't seen it, it is what it is. But when they were in their sleep, when the demon had their demon art, and when they was in their sleep, when Tanjiro was in his dream, well, the first one that he had, because it was actually supposedly a good dream or whatever. Just being able to see him like with his family again or whatnot, and then to see him like have to leave them, I don't know, that just hit me differently. And then to have his father have like a I don't even know how to. It was like a spirit. Oh my gosh, like a spirit appearance or whatever, and like his father like basically helped him get out of a situation, and it's like he probably hasn't seen his dad. I don't want to like jump over the story, but in retrospect, it's like he haven't seen his dad in a long time because his dad passed away, obviously. But it's like just for his dad to come and save him at a time like this, it was like really big for me and everything like that. And then to see him move on afterwards and then confront the demon who was on the train at the time and everything like that, like that was like a really big part for me. It just seemed to touch me differently and everything like that.
Oh yeah, like the dreams for one. I know. Well, when the dude was inside of Tanjiro's dream and the sprites, they took him through.
Yeah.
They held his hand and he felt bad. I started crying a little bit. It was like, cause I know it was very cute in the manga, but seeing the way they animated it and the music with it, the music in the movie,
the music in this whole thing just totally like music in other animes. They sometimes fit. Well, for me, they sometimes fit and they sometimes don't fit. But the music in Demon Slayer, every single scene that there's music involved, it just adds something else to it too. And it's like, dang, like the creators, the animators, they just know exactly what they're doing with this. And I know, like I said, like that ending fight scene too was like really big for me. And then being able to see everybody else's dreams as well, because what is it, Rengoku? Whenever Rengoku was in his dream, it was a flashback to whenever he was growing up. Well, not growing up, but whenever he had just become, what is it, Hashira? Yeah, whenever he had just become a Hashira, he had told his dad, who was actually the former Flame Hashira. Not Flame. Is it Flame or Fire?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Flame.
Yeah, Flame Hashira. And how his father like dismissed it or whatever. But being able to see him in his dream and like go to him with the scene of him like fighting with his brother, but then to know that somebody was in his spirit core, and then to see him like in his dream but still like be able to pick the girl up and like choke her. Not to say that's, we're not trying to say they kill girls or whatever in here, but like she was a demon or possessed by a demon, so
she wasn't possessed by a demon. Okay, with the people that were trying to, like, that he sent to go attack the cores.
Well, no, they weren't possessed. They were.
Basically he said, "Do this, and I'll give you dreams you want to have." Because these are all people who either had illness or terrible lives. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It gave me a possessed feel for some reason. But just to see him pick her up and like choke her like mid dream, it was like, dang, like you can definitely see like the difference between him and like the other demon slayer, who were like on the train with them and then it was like just a sense of like knowing what's actually going on inside his like own mind, inside his soul too. Like that just hit me as well because it was like, dang, like for like Tandra example, for him to even get to that level, it was like, well, in like his dream, he like needed his dad to help him, but like for him to get to that level, it takes like just a extra sense of like experience and patience in life to be able to get there for me, and like that just hit home as well.
Wait, back to the songs. You know, I know everyone remembers the iconic song at the end of episode 19 during the fight scene with Rui.
Ooh,
Kamado Tanjiro no
I almost
Uta.
cried.
Like the way they seamlessly blended that episode from the fight to the credits using the song.
They be killing me.
And I love that song. And I noticed throughout the movie they had several different renditions of that song playing in the background during certain scenes. Like, be it or it was just an instrumental, or it was saying a few lyrics at a time, or it was just, or they made it sound like a completely different song entirely. I noticed it throughout the movie, and there's just something else I wanted to point out. Sorry, I had to try to remember the name. It's kind of long. But
yeah. I know, since you bring up like music or not, I know for the Seven Deadly Sins, the music in there too, whenever they would have some of the ending of the fight scenes and like rolling into the credits, whenever I would listen to the credits or whatnot, the music in there, they really spoke to me as well and like moved me and those different spots and emotions that I was feeling, especially at the end of how, there's another season of Seven Deadly Sins that I haven't seen yet, but when they ended, what was that, like the 4th season or whatever, those last few episodes, I was like, man, like y'all really trying to make me cry. But back to the Demon Slayer movie. I guess like the only thing for me that I would say that I kind of would have wished I saw more maybe of was the fact that I know the title of the movie is like I don't even want to pronounce it wrong. It was Mew.
you can just call it the Infinite Train.
It's an M word. It's Japanese, but I can't pronounce nothing. So
say infinite. It's okay.
The Infinite Train or whatever. But the fact for me that was like the whole movie was on a train. I guess I kind of wasn't expecting it or whatever. I guess I expected a little bit more out of the train or like them getting to a certain destination. But I guess seeing how everything worked out itself anyway, and then like having that final end scene where they weren't in the train but the train had crashed, LOL, it kind of gave me more of what I would have liked to see. But would you say that you have like any type of, not necessarily issues, but maybe one or two things that you would have maybe loved to see differently from how they played it out?
I want to say that his movie was damn near perfect in every way I expected it to be. There's nothing, because like anything I feel like I had a problem with in the manga, the movie pretty much fixed that. Like with the way they animated it, the angles, and like I said, the fight scenes. Like the fight scenes on the train didn't feel as messy as they did in the manga. And it didn't feel as tight as it did in the manga either. And like they made the train, even though it was like such a tiny pathway, they made it feel spacious with the fighting, which I enjoyed. But as you said, like what a personal gripe with the story was that the whole thing took place on the train. I did like that. Once again, Upper Moon 3 came out of nowhere and they fought in the field for
I was just about to say, like, the fact that they had a whole upper demon come out of nowhere. Like that when I was watching, that just pissed me off so much because I was like, why are you doing this now? Like, this is not the right time for upper level demon to be coming out here. Like,
one of the big three too. Like, and like another thing I found pretty funny when I was watching the movie, even though I was in tears, it was like he really came there, killed Rengoku, and left. And so I thought that was pretty funny.
Honestly, it was a part of me that like he kind of like won me over in a sense because the way he was talking to Rengoku, and he wasn't like demeaning towards him or like I'm gonna kill you. He was like he saw everything that was in him. He saw his flame and everything, and was like, but he wanted him to be a demon, even though Rengoku wasn't going for that. But it was like the fact that he was doing that and still like complimenting him in a way, it just made me feel for him a little bit. I would have loved to see him die at the end, but I don't know. Part of me was like he was just doing the opposite of what I would expect. Like the other demon, I can't remember their name, but they were a lower ranked demon. The way they were talking to Tanjiro when they had first had their like not conflict, but when Tanjiro first got up there to like meet him or whatever, like the way he was talking to Tanjiro, it was like, bro, like he gonna kick your ass anyway, so it don't even matter. But it was like super demeaning and like he wanted to like control him or whatever and things of that nature and like make it seem like Tanjiro had like no business being like alive basically or whatever. Like he was just insignificant to the whole story or whatever. So seeing that upper level demon being able to talk to Rengoku the way he did, it just made me feel some type of way in a good light about him, I guess. But that was definitely
Rengoku. He killed Rengoku and you felt for him?
After he killed him, no, but in the moment, because he wanted him to be a demon so badly, but it was a positive type thing. It wasn't like a real negative or like real demeaning type of situation. But definitely seeing the movie now, it's like got me even more pumped for season 2. And like I said, I'm definitely gonna read the manga. Probably hopefully do that in the next few weeks or whatnot, and be able to catch up on the story, or at least know what's gonna happen before season 2 comes out necessarily. But what would you say, even though you've read the manga, what would you say like has you most excited for season 2?
Most excited for season 2. Well, so with the training arc, it was pretty short in the manga by arcs, like by arc comparison to the rest of them. So I understand why this one was made into the movie, and the next one, when I was reading it, I felt like it was considerably longer. So I'm very excited to see that season 2. And with season 2, once again, we learned about another pillar, the sound pillar. He was in the trailer. I know I showed it to you after the movie.
Yeah.
So it's going to be all about him. And
well, if you watch the first season, it's like I want to say the 4th to last episode where you meet all, what is it, 8 or 10? I think it's 8. I think it's 8 of them. Hashiras. Yeah.
You can call them pillars.
Okay, well, pillars, Hashiras. Well, I just want to be matter of fact, but I think it's like 8 of them to be exact. You meet all of them because Tanjiro and Zenitsu, and Inosuke, and then Tanjiro's sister, Nezuko. They all get captured or whatever after they get done battling with the I don't want to misquote them. I want to say the Spider Family demons, but I don't want to say that's what they were called.
I'm pretty much what they were called.
Oh, okay. Well, after they get done with that battle, they get captured or whatever. Well, not captured, but they were all hurt. So I wouldn't say captured, but they get taken back to like the headquarters or like the main area or whatever of the like the Hashira and the Demon Slayer corporation, and Tanjiro is put on trial, and so that's where you meet all 8 of them or whatnot. So when Cal makes that reference to the sound pillar, that's like what he means. So for this one, the movie was more about Rengoku and like kind of like how his life was and how he became. Well, it wasn't so much about how he became a Hashira, but it kind of shows you like his motives and everything like that, and opened up his life a little bit. So we get to see a little bit of that in season 2 of somebody else and things of that nature.
And no spoilers, but a lot of really interesting and fun characters introduced in season 2. I won't say a lot, but like a few that I really enjoyed. A lot of new things happened that I can't wait to see animated. And seeing as how long the final fight took in the manga, like it feel like it was never going to end. I can't
for that season, for that like part or whatever.
Yeah, for that part.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that, because that the fight feel like it took me an hour to get through it.
That's crazy.
So I can't wait to see how many episodes they stretch it out to.
It's always funny reading stuff and seeing things in the comics or whatnot, and then it's like, I wonder how they're gonna adapt this to episodes, and then it's like sometimes it's like 3 episodes, and then sometimes it's like 20 episodes, and it's like, why? But I guess one last thing you can like leave everybody with or whatnot is like, since you are really big into anime and different things like that, what would you say are some of your like favorite animes that you've watched over the years, and that would maybe recommend to somebody who's just starting or just probably hasn't seen them yet?
All right, well, for horror anime, I think the one that's had the biggest impact on me was Shiki. It's about vampires, but there's a really nice twist to it. And it terrified me as a child, and I love it to this day. Seen it like 10 times.
I love
For raunchy anime, I would say High School DxD or B Gotta HK. I really love B Gotta HK.
The fact that I actually know what that is, but I haven't watched. I know what it is, but I just haven't watched the episode.
Like, it's not like B Gotta HK isn't as explicit as High School DxD, because High School DxD they'll put like bare nipples in your face.
Those are the animes that I kind of despise, honestly.
But and I guess for shonen, I've seen so many. I just if I want to go the basic bitch route, I guess I would go My Hero Academia. But I don't know if Re:Zero counts as a shonen, but I love Re:Zero a lot. And another one of my favorite animes of all time, top 10, Madoka. Just type in Madoka, it'll pop up. A very good story. Really refined my taste in anime with that one. And I guess one more, School Live. I enjoyed that one. It's about zombies. It's another psychological one. I feel like a lot of people will like it. There's a lot of twists to it. Yeah, but that's all I have.
I know for me, even though I'm not as in depth into like the whole space and everything, one anime that I would maybe suggest anybody just maybe watching an episode or two would be Magi. I know it's on Netflix. I'm not sure how immersed is it in all the different anime websites and different things like that, but Magi is one of those ones where it might start off a little slow, but once you like get into it, then you like kind of see how it is and everything like that. But obviously talking to an expert, you would have way more in-depth detail of a list in terms of like just the different type of genres in anime itself. But thank you. Like I said, one of my good friends, Calvin. Thank you for being on this podcast. I know I've like said we could definitely do one. And I guess it just happened to be like the perfect time to do it and everything like that. And
The way I won.
and being able to have a different spin on my podcast as well, talking about anime and just talking about different things from like the kind of usual things that I want to talk about. So it's definitely broadening my horizons and well rounding out my anime and different. I mean, well rounding out my podcast and different things like that. But thank you guys so much for listening to this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already been able to hear from me before, definitely check out my other podcast. I think I've done over 70 episodes. A lot of them were before Corona really got serious and everything last year, different things and whatnot. But definitely finna start getting back to this and ramping up everything. So hope you guys are doing your thing. Make sure to check it out on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube as well. That's definitely main spots where I post my podcast. But I hope you guys keep doing your thing, keep being safe. Love you guys. Peace.